Welcome. I would like to welcome you to another episode of the Unpopular Podcast. This is the man, the myth, the legend, Jalen Hunter. And if you would do me a favor, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so anything will help. But here's where we'll start. So the report came out this, it's funny. People that are upset with you, boy, they will have something to say. And I mean that, do people right, man. Do people right. So a report that came out, I think it was his former chef, but his Antonio Brown's former chef, I believe, came out and said that he's using a fake vaccination card. The Bucks came out and said that it's not true. Everything's been verified. The league as a whole right now is doing an investigation. But here's why this story is so big and actually so important. Never mind if this is true or not. If it is true, that's wild. That's we've been talking about the coverage with Aaron Rodgers and how that's going. Just amplify that by 10 if this comes out that Antonio Brown is using a fake vaccine authorization card, which, by the way, is not that hard to figure it out. I mean, whatever pharmacy or wherever place that you got it from, you just put in the information and they'll be like, oh no, we don't have this name or whatever. But here's why this is so big. Because there's not a doubt in my mind that there are people, I'm not saying in the NFL, but there are people in this world that are using fake vaccination cards, which to me is insane, but people are doing it. There's mandates coming out, restaurants, bars, public places. You start to have to, the only way that you can access these places is being vaccinated or having a vaccination card, which you get by being vaccinated. And there are a lot of people that still are against or have some questions about the vaccine, but they don't want their everyday life to change. So they get fake vaccination cards. So there's no way, there's nothing that you can tell me to say that there are not people in this world that are using fake vaccination cards. I've seen people that have a book bag full of fake vaccination cards. So I know that it's being used. I know that it's being sold. But here's why it's so big in the NFL and in sports in general. We just came off a pandemic. Well, we're pretty much still in the pandemic, but we just came off a year in 2020 or came out of a year in 2020 where we were pretty much locked down for the entire year. Now, yes, there were still sports going on. We had the NBA bubble. We had the NHL bubble. Baseball still went on. NFL still went on. Just, no fans and stuff in a lot of areas. So we understand. And that's a big reason why I believe that there is a vaccination problem, or there is, people are hesitant and get fake vaccination cards because we just came out of a pandemic. We just came out of a lockdown. They don't want to go back into lockdown. But here's why it is so big for the NFL, because the NFL, I would like to believe there aren't players, because NFL cracks down on a lot of things. Apparently, there are players that aren't using vaccination cards, or fake vaccination cards. But if this is true, just imagine the floodgates this will open. For me, I know when people ask, hey, do you have your vaccination cards? Now, I am fully vaccinated. Yeah, here you go, blah, blah, blah. Now, people don't go on a site. They just look at, I guess, who the pharmacist is or when I did it or whatever. They're going to start cracking down a lot more. Now, I would hope that, I guess it's wishful thinking, but I would hope that the NFL has their players' best interests at heart, but we know they don't. It's a business. But boy, man, this will be big. For some reason, why is it always Antonio Brown getting into a situation? Oh, man. And again, I hope it's not true. I hope that I can come in here and, again, the Bucks. The Bucks organization said that it wasn't true, but the Bucks, the organization is going to say whatever they're going to say for the betterment of their player. You know what I mean? So I hope that is not true. I hope that is not true. And if it is, that it's crazy. I'm not gonna say if it is, because I want to make sure it's not true, because I feel, and I do this sometimes too. I feel that people, when you say but if it is, you're pretty much going into the situation thinking that it is, or assuming that it is. And I don't want to add on to a story that may or may not be true. Now, I do know that it is pretty true that Antonio Brown owes some people money. Give them people that money, bro. But, I just want to hold off and giving a final verdict about this vaccination thing with Antonio Brown. Because, again, I pray that it's not true and he is fully vaccinated, because you're putting people at harm. You're putting yourself at harm, but you're putting people at harm that assume. And that's the big thing with Aaron Rodgers. And again, I'm not saying that it is. And I'm not, let me just take Antonio Brown out the situation. That's the biggest problem I have with Aaron Rodgers. You're putting people, there are people around you that may have health concerns. There are people around you that may have underlying health problems. There are people around you that think, because you said that you're immunized, there are people that think that you're fully vaccinated. And those people are going to maneuver around you like you are, which in all actuality, you could still be putting them in the same harm that you would if you were vaccinated. Go back to the fake vaccination stories. You're putting people at ease because, hey, okay, he's vaccinated, he has his full vaccination card. However, if you're not only are you lying, but you're putting people at risk. And I think that's crazy. That's crazy selfish too, but I think that's crazy. So I hope it's not true. And if it comes out to be true, we'll talk about it. If it doesn't, we'll talk about it. So let's move forward. Yo, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why Let me tell you why Matt Ryan sucks, bro. I know it sounds very pointed, which it is pointed. And Matt Ryan, you did nothing wrong except just not be good at football. But the reason why I'm attacking Matt Ryan, and I talked about this last episode, is because people are coming at my neck about me saying Matt Ryan is not that good. Let me prove to you why Matt Ryan's not that good. So Thursday Night Football happened, and the Patriots, led by rookie quarterback Mac Jones, shut out the Atlanta Falcons 25-0. Now, I understand the Patriots are pretty good. Mac Jones is better than advertised and getting better week after week. I understand that this defense, J.C. Jackson and Van Noy, the Patriots defense is an incredible defense. I understand that. And I'm not taking nothing away from the Patriots. Incredibly coached by Bill Belichick. We know that the resume that Bill Belichick holds. But let me tell you why. For some reason, I was confused. I was like, yo, what makes Matt Ryan bad? Why do I think that Matt Ryan is not good? He's a former MVP, former Pro Bowler. Led the Atlanta Falcons to the Super Bowl. He has a cannon of an arm. But I'm like, what makes... It was hard for me, because when people question, or when people ask me, Jay, why do you think that Matt Ryan's not that good? And it was hard for me to give them an answer, because I couldn't really pinpoint it. They were different, but I couldn't really pinpoint it. Like, I'm looking at Matt Ryan, and I know I'm not looking at a good quarterback right now, or a quarterback that is clearly out of his prime, but I'm like, I don't know what it is. Then I saw it on Thursday Night Football. I know why Matt Ryan, at least at this point of his career, is not good. I got it. In the league, in the NFL, in any sport, what you expect is you expect a player that you draft or that you trade, or you expect a player from year one to year after year, you expect a player to increase. You expect a player to improve, evolve. Sometimes, now, no, not every player. Like Mac Jones and, rookie Mac Jones and Mac Jones in year 8 isn't going to automatically turn into Patrick Mahomes, or Justin Fields isn't automatically going to turn into Joe Montana in year 5. I'm not saying that, but you expect a Mac Jones, you expect a Justin Fields, you expect a Zach Wilson, you expect a Trevor Lawrence, you expect them to get better from year after year after year, with experience, with time played, with reps. You expect them to get better. But the one thing that's underrated about that, and the one thing that people sort of overlook when we talk about the development of players, is decision making. No, again, Mac Jones is not going to turn into Patrick Mahomes. Mac Jones is not going to turn into Russell Wilson. He's not going to turn into Lamar Jackson. But his decision making from year, let's not do Mac Jones. Let's do Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, we expect Zach Wilson's decision making with reps, with time over the years. We expect his decision making to improve. We expect Trevor Lawrence's decision making to improve. There are certain players that their decision making may not have improved, and because of that, the league has passed them by. There are some plays that Matt Ryan does, and it's not even. It's not all plays, no, but there are plays in almost every single game Matt Ryan has, at least for the past 2 to 3 years. Almost every single game, there are decisions that Matt Ryan make that you look at him and say, yo, what the hell were you doing? Why would you make that decision? And what makes it even more infuriating is this man has been, I think he's like an 8-year vet. He's been in the league for a while. He is a former MVP. He is a former Super Bowl attendee. He's a former Pro Bowler. And Matt Ryan still makes plays and still makes decisions that make you think, yo, what the hell was he thinking? What the hell was he doing? He makes plays and makes decisions that former MVPs should not make. He makes decisions that starting quarterbacks that's not in year 1 should not make. You would understand. There's games where Zach Wilson has 4 turnovers. There's games where Trevor Lawrence has 3 turnovers. There's games where, the Justin Fields played the Bucks, I believe, and had like 5 turnovers. But you can understand. Not saying that that's acceptable, but you can understand because they're rookies, and it's like they're still learning how to catch up with the game. They're still making decisions. The best quote I heard is, it's easy to fool a rookie quarterback because they're not really used to NFL defensive schemes. But they're rookies, and you expect a rookie to make rookie decisions. If Mac Jones went out there and had a 4 interception game, it's like, he's a rookie. Now, if Mac Jones goes out there in year 5 and still has 4 interception games, like, damn, that's and bad interceptions. I understand. Like, there's some interceptions that Patrick Mahomes has where it hits Tyreek Hill or it hits one of his receivers smack in the hand. It flips up and then a defensive player catches it. I've seen that probably 3 or 4 times this year. Now, I'm not saying that that's all his interceptions, because there are definitely interceptions that are on him. But those are very, like, this is it. The biggest decision, okay, so you remember when the Kansas City Chiefs played the Baltimore Ravens. And Patrick Mahomes was scrambling out. He was about to get sacked, and he just tossed the ball up. And he tossed the ball up like, what are you doing? Intercepted. He did the same thing against Washington. He just threw the ball up for the taking, and it was intercepted. Those decisions are like, what are you doing? But the thing about Patrick Mahomes is those come few and far between. Let's go back to Matt Ryan. That happens nearly every single week. Not the whole throw the ball up in the air or whatever, but he makes decisions that is questionable for an 8-year vet, for a former MVP. Matt Ryan isn't. Yes, there's a lot of things that's going on around Matt Ryan. Calvin Ridley, he's left the team for right now. The offensive line is horrible. The defense is even worse. There's a lot going on with Matt Ryan. But you know where else there's a lot going on with? Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's pretty much his whole running back core going into the season's out. He's missing multiple starting offensive linemen. He's missing multiple defensive players. And Lamar Jackson is shining. You know who else there's a lot going on around? Russell Wilson. Now, yes, their record isn't that good, but Russell Wilson, he did just come back from injury, and he didn't look the best against Green Bay, but you expect him to look better this week. And in fact, really the only reason why he didn't look good is because he was rusty. He missed 3 weeks, and of course the whole hand situation, the weather in Green Bay wasn't the best. You expect him to be better this week. There's a lot going on. We talk about Baker Mayfield, right? We talk about Baker Mayfield a lot because we say you can't win. Well, he has problems or trouble winning when everything's not perfect. When everything is perfect, he's incredible. He wins majority of his games. But when something's not right, or when he's outrushed, when the team is outrushed or outgained, he is like 0 something. He has not won a game. When something is going on with, like, if their star running back is out, if a star quarter or wide receiver is out, Baker Mayfield does not play too good. And we kill Baker Mayfield for that. There's a lot happening with Matt Ryan, but Matt Ryan plays worse. So the people that are coming to me and coming at me saying Matt Ryan is good or you spoke too soon, no, I didn't. Matt Ryan was winning against teams like the Jets, like the Giants, like the Dolphins. His best win was what? The Saints. That I think they won like overtime. Oh no, because the Saints missed a kick or something. Matt Ryan's decision making warrants me saying that he is not that good. You know what it is? Colin Cowherd said it. You take a salesman. A salesman that's been here for, let's say, 8 years. You take his best year out and you take his worst year out, which is usually the first year. You take his best year out and the worst year, what do you get? That's the player that you are. You take Matt Ryan's best year, his MVP year, I think that was 2016. You take that out. You take his worst season out, and Matt Ryan is an average ass to below average quarterback. I don't mean to kill Matt Ryan. He's playing in the league. I can't play. But let's not sit here and act like just because they won 4 games, look who they won 4 games against. Bro, this is yet another game where Matt Ryan had Matt Ryan, former MVP, threw for 153 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. We killed. They killed, right? They killed Cam Newton, who's a former MVP, former Super Bowl participant. They killed Cam Newton for, his lack of accuracy at end games. We killed him for his play during the 2020 season. He played incredible until he caught COVID, missed a week or 2, came back. He the rest of the season he was bad, and they killed Cam Newton for that. And one of the reasons why they killed Cam Newton is they said, "Yo, some of the throws he makes is like, why are you making those throws?" Matt Ryan, I'm not saying he looks as bad, but Matt Ryan does not look good at all. Matt Ryan has not been good, and I'm not chalking it up to just this year because he hasn't really been good. In fact, he's been on a steep decline for like 3.5 years now. So for the people that come to me and say, I spoke too soon about Matt Ryan, I don't know what I'm talking about, I don't watch football, don't talk about something you don't know. How do you explain what we're seeing? Is it the offensive line? Because Russell Wilson's offensive line. Now, let me not say. Lamar Jackson doesn't have the best offensive line because they're always injured. Is it because of the wide receivers? Like he doesn't have that good of a wide receiver core? Lamar Jackson doesn't have the best wide receiver core. His number one receiver right now is a rookie that's probably played 3 games now, or Hollywood Brown, who has a history of dropping big passes. Oh, is it because the defense is not good? Patrick Mahomes' defense is garbage. Outside of Tyrann Mathieu, they're terrible. No. Matt Ryan is not Patrick Mahomes. Matt Ryan is not Russell Wilson. Matt Ryan is not Lamar Jackson. Matt Ryan is not, he's not Baker Mayfield. All I'm saying is Matt Ryan be making some, excuse my language, dumbass decisions. And he is a veteran in the league. Matt Ryan has been in the league. Oh, did I say 8? Matt Ryan has been in the league for 14 years, 14 seasons. I said 8. Matt Ryan has been in the league for 14 seasons. Why did I say 8? 14 seasons making decisions that In fact, Matt Ryan against the Bucks. In fact, let's just do it against decent teams or good to decent teams. Against the Bucks, Matt Ryan threw 3 interceptions, 2 of which were pick sixes. Against the Panthers, Matt Ryan threw 2 interceptions. Against the Cowboys, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns, by the way, and lost 43-3. And followed up on a short week. 2 interceptions, 1 I believe was a pick six, and 0 touchdowns. Yet and still, I have people that's trying to convince me that I'm wrong about Matt Ryan. His best game, Matt Ryan's best game this year, was a loss to the Washington football team. He threw 3 or 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Now the most he threw for was against the Jets. No, was against the Saints. No, you know what, nah. Hey, yo. Matt Ryan's not that good. In fact, looking at it here, there is only one out of, how many years did I say? How many years? Out of 14 years, 14 seasons, there is only 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 3. There's only been 3 seasons, where Matt Ryan has not thrown double-digit interceptions. That's the 2008 season, 2006 season where he won the MVP, and 2010 season where he threw 9. Hey, Matt Ryan fans, explain that one for me. Let's move forward. So week 11 is a big week. There are some big games on the slate. We're definitely past the halfway point. But there are some big games on the slate, and I'm going to predict what'll happen in the games. Let's start with the Saints at Eagles. See, I don't know about this game because I don't trust Trevor Siemian. Even if Taysom Hill was back, and I don't know if he is or not, I don't believe he is. I just don't trust the Saints. Like, I don't trust it. It'd be different if there was if Jameis Winston was playing, which unfortunately he's not due to injury. I would go with the Saints, but I'm gonna go with the Eagles. They did just extend Dallas Goedert, which is their tight end. Jalen Hurts, he hasn't played great, but I trust Jalen Hurts more than I trust Trevor Siemian. And the Saints, man, they're gonna win. They're gonna have to win games because of their defense. I don't know if Alvin Kamara will be playing, but it's right now it's not looking too good. But I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I just trust the Eagles more as far as I trust Jalen Hurts over Trevor Siemian, and I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a hard game because both teams aren't that good right now, at least. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Dolphins at Jets. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins because I haven't seen too much consistent. In fact, I have seen consistency with the Jets. Week after week after week, their defense continues to go down. Like, their defense is getting worse by the week, which is why we talked about last episode. We had to shine light on Robert Saleh. Like, hey, yo, Robert, your specialty was defense because you were a defensive coordinator for, was it Kansas? No, for the 49ers. Why is your defense so bad? You know what I mean? And their defense just continues to get worse. And Tua, I mean, you're coming off a big win against the Ravens on Thursday, so you pretty much have a longer, have a long week. So out of the Dolphins, the Washington at Panthers. This is a big game. This is a big game because this is Cam Newton's first game, coming back, or second game with the Panthers. First game coming back as far as a starter. He will be starting. This is also his quote-unquote revenge game because he's playing against Ron Rivera, who was his coach for the Panthers. And here's the thing. I think energy is a big thing. We talked about momentum. Energy and momentum go hand in hand. And I think Washington's defense has struggled all year, and I think it's going to struggle even more because the absence of Chase Young, which, again, I hope that he gets better. Hope he comes back better than ever with the whole ACL situation. You lost the defensive leader. Now, Tyler Heineke will be going against a very good defense that is the Panthers. And when you're going against a very good defense that's the Panthers, you're going against Christian McCaffrey, and now you're going against a spirited team because of Cam Newton. I have the Panthers winning that game. I have the Panthers that are at home. Now that Robbie Anderson is going to get more involved, DJ Moore is going to get more involved. I think the Panthers have all the momentum, and I think that this is going to be a big game for Cam Newton, big game for the Panthers, big game for the defense, big game for Matt Rule. And I think that they're going to, especially Cam, he's going to kind of want to stick it to Ron Rivera, especially with reports. I was one of the people that say, yo, Washington could use Cam Newton. He got released from the Patriots. For some reason, they thought that Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tyler Heineke were the future, which obviously they're not. And the fact that Ron Rivera being Cam Newton's former head coach and didn't even, entertain it, I think that Cam Newton's going to want to kind of stick it to him. So I have Panthers beating Washington. Colts at Bills. This is actually going to be a very good game. The defense with the Colts against the offense of the Bills. Now, the offense of the Bills haven't really been clicking too much this year. Now, they have been destroying people, but it's mostly because they've been playing bad teams. And yes, I'm going to put the Kansas City Chiefs in there as a bad team because they were not good. Kansas City Chiefs were terrible. Now they have come out of that and they are looking like the Kansas City Chiefs of old. But the Bills offense just hasn't clicked too well, and I think that this is going to be a tough game for them. Yes, it's at home, but you're going against a Colts defense that is incredible. Now, I do think weather is going to play a part. The Colts play in a dome, and you're going to Buffalo. I think it's going to be cold as hell. But I'm gonna go with the Bills because, again, I trust Josh Allen more than I trust Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has been better for the past few weeks, but I want to see more. I want to see more consistency with Carson Wentz. And I think the Colts have won like 4 of their last 5, 5 of the last 6 or something like that. So I think it's going to be a really good game, especially with the defense. Darius Leonard and DeForest Buckner leading the charge. But I'm gonna go with the Bills. I trust Josh Allen more, but I do think it's gonna be a close game. To me, that's a toss-up game. The Lions at Browns. If the Browns don't win this game, boy oh boy, will the media has already been kind of turning their back on Baker Mayfield, but boy oh boy, and I don't even know if Baker Mayfield is playing due to injury. Like we need to see if he's going to play or not. If not, it's the Lions. It's the Lions. Like I keep saying that, but they keep proving me right. I mean, they have 0 wins, 0 in the win column. So I'm gonna go with the Browns. I'm gonna go with the Browns on this one. Even if Baker Mayfield doesn't play, I just think that the Lions just can't get it right. So. Jags, 49ers at Jags. I have the 49ers. I don't really trust the Jags at all. And, the 49ers are coming off a bad loss against who they just lose to. No, they just beat. No, the 49ers are coming off a good win against the Rams. And I think they're going to carry that momentum against the Jags. I mean, Deebo Samuel has been one of the best young players in the league this entire season. And I think that he's going to have yet another field day against the Jags' awful defense. So I have the 49ers. Texans at Titans. The Texans are actually, it was funny. You realize the Texans are one of the oldest teams in the league, yet they're in a rebuild? What sense does that make? Okay, for people that don't know, when you're in a rebuild, usually that means that you're giving a lot of old players away. You're not taking a lot of old contracts. You're trying to get young players, and the young players aren't really good enough or up to snuff league standards, so you're trying to accumulate draft picks, this, that, and the third. Or you're trying to hit a big swing in free agency with it, but usually your teams can't hit free agency because nobody wants to go there. If you look at the NBA, some of the rebuilding teams in the NBA, like the Detroit Pistons, younger team, the Houston Rockets, extremely young team. Usually rebuilds are young. The Texans are one of the oldest teams in the league, which is funny to me. And even with that, they're going to get destroyed by the Titans. The Titans have done a great job. I think Mike Vrabel, in my opinion, is leading the charge or leading the Coach of the Year candidacy because everything that's happened, when you lose, again, and I talked about this last episode, when you lose a player like Derrick Henry who was over 90% of the offense, usually teams don't recover from that. It's kind of hard. You remember when look how bad the Green Bay Packers looked with Aaron Rodgers being out. Look how different. Now I'm not saying they're garbage, but look how different the Bucs look without Gronk and AB. When you lose vital players, your team doesn't look that well. And none of those players outside of probably Aaron Rodgers meant more to their team than Derrick Henry. And the Titans have done a great job, whether it's in Adrian Peterson, which I was one of the people that's like, I don't think that doesn't really matter because he's kind of over the moon, which Ryan Tannehill's look great. A.J. Brown's, hell, even Julio Jones has been out a lot. But with incredible coaching, with their defense tightening up, the Titans has been able to move forward, which is why I think Mike Vrabel is leading candidate for Coach of the Year, and I think that they're going to destroy. Hell, they're the number one team in the AFC. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought a team that lost the best running back in the league is now first in the AFC? So I have the Titans winning that one. Green Bay at Vikings. I have Green Bay. I think that Aaron Rodgers was rusty last week against the Seattle Seahawks, and the thing that I think is carrying the reason why I think Green Bay more than likely right now, or I think they are the best team in the NFC, is because their defense. Their defense has been incredible, and the crazy part about that is their best defenders are not playing right now. Zaire Alexander is not playing right now. Za'Darius Smith is not playing right now. And they're still able to be this good. They're so good, they brought in Jalen Smith and cut him like a week later, 2 weeks later. So that on top of the incredible play from Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. Now, I do think that losing Aaron Jones for a couple weeks is going to be big. But A.J. Dillon has come, and he was incredible against the Seahawks. And then you're going against the Vikings defense that isn't the greatest. I got Green Bay winning that one. Ravens at Bears. I got the Ravens. I think the Ravens, they just lost to the Browns. Not the Browns. They just lost to the Dolphins. And I think that they're, they don't want to lose two in a row, especially when they're kind of jockeying for position at the top of the AFC. I think the Ravens are going to correct what was wrong last week against the Dolphins. I think they kind of underestimated the Dolphins. I think they kind of went in like fans were going like, bro, this is the Dolphins. We're about to just destroy them. And I think the Dolphins had another thing coming. I think they're going to be better prepared. Now, their defense has to show up, but you're going against a Bears defense, a Bears offense that hasn't really clicked. So I have the Ravens winning that one. I think a really big game and a really good game is going to be the Bengals at Raiders. Joe Burrow against Derek Carr. Now, it's funny. We don't know what Derek Carr would get. And that's, yeah, we're going to have the Derek Carr that beat, the Ravens, that looked incredible a couple weeks, that a lot of people, including myself, was thinking he could be in the MVP talk. Then we can get the Derek Carr that played against the Chiefs last week. And there are games where he's looked terrible. For the Bengals, man, their offensive line still sucks, but you have Joe Burrow, you have Joe Mixon, you have Jamar Chase, who is in the running for Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I'm gonna go with the Raiders because the Raiders are at home, and playing in Vegas is tough in that new stadium. And the Raiders have I trust Darren Waller. I trust Josh Jacobs because you're going against running a Bengals defense that's not the greatest at the run. I'm gonna go with the Raiders. Cardinals at Seahawks. I think to me it really depends on if Kyler Murray plays. If Kyler Murray plays, then I have the Cardinals easily. If he does not play and DeAndre Hopkins don't play, I'm gonna go with the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson did not look good at all against Green Bay. Now you're coming home against, in Seattle. Yet another week after coming back from injury. I have Seattle winning that one if Kyler Murray doesn't play. Even though James Conner has been really good this year. James Conner has been incredible. But I'm going to go with Seattle if Kyler Murray doesn't play. If Kyler Murray plays, I think Cardinals win and win big, honestly. So because Seattle's defense is still not good. So the biggest game of the week is Cowboys at Chiefs. All we've been hearing is, Dak against Patrick Mahomes. Are the Chiefs back? is the Cowboys the best team in the league? There's a lot of narratives coming out of this game, and it's understandable. I do think this. I think it's so hard to assess how good the Cowboys are right now, and I think that they need games like this. I say that because the Cowboys, if you really look at the Cowboys, they don't look like they have a weakness. In fact, last week I did, what were the playoff team's biggest weakness. And one of the hardest teams that I had to figure out what the weakness were the Cowboys. Because Dak Prescott has played well. Well, Zeke didn't have a good year last year, but this year he's been incredible. Tony Pollard's been good. Their offensive line has been good. Their wide receiver core, from Amari Cooper to CeeDee Lamb to Wilson, they've been good. Dalton Schultz has been good. The tight end, their defense has been incredible from Michael Parsons, who could be, or pretty much, in my opinion, is leading the charge for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Trayvon Diggs is top the league in interceptions. It was hard their biggest weakness, I believe, was their coaching. But it's hard to assess the Cowboys because they haven't really played. I think that the best teams that they've played this year were the Bucks and the Panthers, I think, and the Chargers. Now, I know they beat the Chargers. I know they lost to the Bucks, but it was an incredible game. But let me see. So, their wins. And again, don't hear me say I'm discrediting them, but I kind of am. Their wins are against the Chargers, are against the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, are against Sam Darnold and the Panthers, are against Daniel Jones and the Giants. They're against Mac Jones and the Patriots. They're against what's his name? Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. You can pretty much throw away that Denver game because they went back and Matt Ryan and the Falcons. So what I'm saying is it's hard to assess how good, because if the Cowboys are good as they project they are, then they should be Super Bowl favorites. But it takes games like this week because the three best teams that they've played were probably the Bucks, the Chargers, and how it's shaping up the Patriots. It took overtime in the Patriots, and it took a very bad and very favorable roughing the passer call for the Cowboys, and Mac Jones throwing an interception. And they lost to the Bucks and Tom Brady. Now that was game one, and went pretty much. In fact, they really should have lost against the Chargers. I think two of the Chargers touchdowns got taken back, or got taken back due to taunting. So they need games like this. You're going into Arrowhead and you're going against Patrick Mahomes and a Chiefs team that looks like they've righted the ship. And this is when we'll see, okay, how do you match up? How do the Cowboys match up against some of the top teams? And you go against Kansas City this week. And this is pretty much the hardest test until probably week 17 when you go against the Cardinals. So, on the Kansas City Chiefs side, this is a big test too. You did just destroy the Raiders, and now you're playing against a team that's pretty much firing all cylinders. They just beat a team in the Atlanta Hawks, 43-3. But I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. One, because the Chiefs are home. Two, because I think this is going to be a shootout. I don't really trust. In fact, I don't have any trust in the Chiefs defense. So I think that him and Dak are going to go back and forth. But I think that Patrick Mahomes, especially last week, rode the ship. I think that he was pressing too hard, and I think that he's last week especially he's taking what the defense gives him and he's killing them with it. I think, especially in the losing streak, in the turnovers, he tries to go for the home run so much because he knows if he doesn't get the ball or the defense is pretty much going to surrender a touchdown. And I think that in the shootout, I'm going to trust Patrick Mahomes over Dak Prescott. And Dak Prescott has been incredible, but I got the Chiefs winning that game. Steelers at Chargers. I got the Chargers, man. I don't even know who's playing for the Steelers. There's a lot of people on the COVID list. And this is even though it is Sunday Night Football, the Steelers, man, again, I don't know who's going to play. I don't know who's going to play because of the COVID. I don't know if Big Ben's going to play. If Mason Rudolph plays, Jesus, it's over with. Like, you just give the Chargers the game then. So I don't even know if Minka Fitzpatrick is playing. So, and that's big. So I have the Chargers. In Monday Night Football, Giants at Bucks. They're going to try to build this game. I know this is the game, Saquon Barkley's coming back in. We know the difficulties that the Bucks are having, especially in the secondary of their defense, but this is going to be a bad game. I think the Bucks are going to destroy this team. Now, the Bucks did just lose to Washington, and I think that they're going to be upset about that, and they're about to take it out on the Giants. So I have the Bucks winning that big. What do you guys think? What is your predictions on Week 11? And let me know. So let's move forward. So I know that we're early into the NBA season. Very early. But, of course, the lists are starting to be made. And, of course, we always talk about here, people love lists. And I want to give my top 5 in the MVP. Now, again, this is really early. It can definitely change. More than likely it will change. But here's my top 5. These are now, one of my predictions one of my predictions before the season has already come to fruition. I said that this is going to be one of the best seasons we've seen in a while, and it has been. Now, no, the records aren't the best for some teams, but if you look at some of the nights or some of the games night after night, and there are people that are showing up and performing that, like Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole for Golden State is having a great season. Tyrese Maxey is having a great season for the 76ers. There are is it the 70s? Yeah, 76ers. There are players. Paul George is having a great season. John Morant is having an incredible season, man. Chris Paul, Zach LaVine, Devin Booker, Miles Bridges. This has been an incredible season so far. And it's been good when you have players like Giannis. That's not in my top 5. That Paul George, who I think he's like 3rd or 4th in scoring right now, not in my top 5. It's been great, man. But here is my top 5. I'm gonna go with number 4. Number 5. I'm sorry. Number 5, I have DeMar DeRozan. I think a lot of people want to look at the success that the Bulls have had early and say it's more of a team success, which it is. But DeMar DeRozan has been incredible. So far, he's averaging 26.6 points a game, like 5 rebounds and like 4 assists. One of the biggest reasons that Zach LaVine has been good. He's been good, but he hasn't been great this season. DeMar DeRozan has been great this season. And a lot of questions that I had with the Bulls was, we know they're going to be good offensively when you have Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, when you have Vucevic. I knew they were going to be great defensively, but how good would they be offensive? I knew they were going to be great offensively, but how great were they going to be defensively? And they have been incredible. Shouts out to Alec Caruso. Shouts out to Lonzo Ball. They have been great defensively. And DeMar DeRozan has led the charge for this team, even though it is Zach LaVine's team. And I think the dynamic is going to change a little bit once Zach LaVine is taking threes from everywhere. Like he took some of that Steph Curry juice. But I'm going to give it to DeMar DeRozan because I think DeMar DeRozan has made the biggest impact this year for the Bulls. And the Bulls are, one of the top teams in the East right now. So I have DeMar DeRozan at 5. Number 4, I have Jimmy Butler. Look at the Jimmy Butler doesn't have gaudy numbers. 24 or 25 points a game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Those are great numbers. Those aren't godly numbers. And honestly, Jimmy Butler's effect does not really, even though he did have a triple-double the other night, his effect really isn't in the stats. The Heat play 10 times better when Jimmy Butler's on the floor. Like, it's not even a question at this point. And man, Jimmy Butler is one of those players where, again, stats don't tell the whole story. If you just watch a Heat game, you see Jimmy Butler everywhere. You see him, chirping at the bench. You see him talking to his players. You see him scoring. His scoring has gone up. Jimmy Butler's been great, and the Heat really have no shot. Even though you have Bam Adebayo, even though you have PJ Tucker, even though you have Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, who is out without injury right now. Even though you have those players, the Heat team is nowhere without Jimmy Butler. So I have Jimmy Butler at number 4. At number 3, I have Kevin Durant. And the reason why I have Kevin Durant is because the Brooklyn Nets are struggling. Don't get me wrong, he is not struggling. He's averaging 29 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. This man is having an incredible season, but it's not really, it's hard. It's hard. It's a flashy season, but there's a lot going on around him and with the Brooklyn Nets, and I just think that they're struggling. I think the Brooklyn Nets are struggling. James Harden, he's had a couple of games, but he hasn't really broken out yet. But Kevin Durant has been incredible. Kevin Durant is having he's having statistically one of his best seasons ever, especially when we're talking about shooting percentage. When you're done listening to this or watching this or whatever however you're consuming the Unpopular podcast, go or pause it. Go check out Kevin Durant's shooting percentages from 3 and from mid-range this year, and come back and question why I have him at number 3, which is hard. Then the only reason why I have him number 3 is because number 2 and number 1 I think are a little more important to their team, and I know that's crazy to say when you're talking about Kevin Durant and how if you take him off of Brooklyn, Brooklyn played Orlando last night without Kevin Durant because he had soreness in his shoulder. You see how they looked. So I have Kevin Durant at number 3. And another reason why I have number 3 is because number 2, I have Nikola Jokic. People looking at me like, Nikola Jokic, he won last year, but his numbers throughout the world, throughout the all the categories, PER, usage rate, usage percentage, point, all those metrics, he is having one of the best seasons ever. Nikola Jokic. Now, it's not being recognized like that because, he's playing for Denver. He's not the flashiest player. Even though he does everything on the floor, he's not the flashiest player. But Nikola Jokic is having one of the best seasons statistically ever. When we talk about PER and stuff like that. And yes, he's not averaging as many points as Kevin Durant. He's not averaging as many threes as other players. Nikola Jokic, he's a center, by the way, averaging 26 points a game, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. A center. Now, yes, he's coming off of, he did win MVP last year, and it's crazy. He won MVP last year, and this season he's having better numbers. Crazy. I have Nikola Jokic at number 2. And I have Steph Curry at number 1, man. Steph Curry at this moment is averaging 20 or 30 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. Curry, he's having one of those seasons where it's just like, I think he's on pace. Now, I know it's just threes, but he's on pace to hit like 443 threes at this point. If you want to quantify, or if you want a small sample size of how good Curry is, look at the fourth quarter against 2 games. Look at the entire game against when they played Brooklyn the other night and how he looked. I'm not even going to say look at the 50-point game. Look at the fourth quarter against the Cleveland Cavaliers the other night. and how he led the charge for Golden State to score 36 points in the third quarter to Cleveland's 8. Steph Curry he's playing out of his mind. He's a different player. And the thing is, a lot of people were saying, due to his age and everything, that this was, and he could not top what he did last year. Finished second in MVP last year. There was no way he was topping that. And while he isn't leading, he doesn't have the same amount, like his point percentage isn't the same as it was at the end of the year. Steph Curry is having a better season this year than he did last year. And not to mention, Golden State is the number 1 team in the league. So to me, it's Steph Curry. Steph Curry right now is number 1. So I have DeMar DeRozan at number 5, Jimmy Butler at number 4, Kevin Durant at number 3. I do think that another reason why I'm kind of dropping Kevin Durant down, that was a pretty bad loss against Golden State. As far as I know, him and Curry were battling, but I think that it kind of dropped him down. Nikola Jokic, he's just having a season, even though it's not really projected like that. He's having a season. So Nikola Jokic number 2, and Steph Curry number 1. So who do you have at MVP? Let's talk about it. I don't mind, and I want to know your thoughts. And before we go, I just want to congratulate all the award winners for the MLB. You had Shohei Ohtani. He won the American League MVP. Bryce Harper won his second MVP, National League for the Phillies. Let me see. Robbie Ray won the American League Cy Young, and Corbin Bruin won the Cy Young for the National League. Randy Orozane or Rayers. I apologize. I butchered your name, but you won the American League Rookie of the Year, and Jonathan India won Rookie of the Year for the American League. Kevin Cash won Manager of the Year for the AL, and Gabe Kapler won for the National League Coach of the Year. So congratulations to all the winners, man. It was an incredible season that was topped off with the Atlanta Braves winning the winning the World Series against the Houston Astros. Congratulations to all the winners. This is Bryce Harper's second. Bryce Harper becomes just the 5th player to earn MVP honors on 2 teams. He won one with the Washington Nationals and one with the Phillies. So, congratulations to all you guys, man. Ohtani had arguably one of the greatest seasons ever from a player, and he was unanimously named the AL MVP, which makes sense. It was incredible, man. And you know what's crazy? You know how I know this was a really good year? Because none of the winners, none of them, from the Manager of the Year, Rookie of the Year, MVP, none of them were on the Astros or the Braves. You have a Philly, the Angels, the Blue Rays, the Brewers, the Tampa Bay Rays, the the Reds. None of the, and that should just tell you. Oh wait, that should just show you how good these players are. So shouts out to them, man. Shouts out to them. And there you have it. That has been today's episode of the Unpopular Podcast. I appreciate all you guys. I'm not wearing one right now because I was kind of in a rush. But if you want an Unpopular Podcast shirt, hoodie, long sleeve, joggers, the link is in the description below. It's getting cold out there, y'all. Last night, it was like 20 degrees outside. It's getting cold. So go get your merch today. Go get your hoodies. Go get your sweaters. Go get your long sleeves. I have multiple different designs, multiple different colors. Go get yours today so you can bundle up in the Unpopular Podcast merch. Also, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I do see the subscribers are going up a little bit, which I appreciate. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so anything will help. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And until next time, Much love.